This havening training, what's it all about? Well, for a business, it's absolutely fantastic. Now, if you're really serious about mental health and well-being, havening should be part of your toolkit. You should be incorporating it. What about if you can stop horrendous labor turnover? And that could be for all sorts of different reasons. It could be because people don't get on with the boss, a big reason for people leaving. It could be because of something that's happened recently at work, which has upset somebody. It could be because there's frustrations with not being able to progress far enough and fast enough. All of these could be appropriate, or there could be severe trauma instances. So, for example, I work a lot with rail companies, and unfortunately in the rail industry, you have suicides a lot on the railways. If somebody's going to witness that, that's pretty horrendous. And havening is perfect for that and so many other things. What about leadership programs? I have huge experience in delivering leadership programs and have already incorporated havening into that so that people can move obstacles out of the way, mental obstacles that are stopping them to perform at their best. So all of these different things are available to you within havening. So havening is brilliant for organizations. It's really versatile. It could be about helping people back after a traumatic incident at work. It could be introduced into a leadership program to help people remove roadblocks and anxieties about their current role or things that they have to do to achieve at work, and just take away the anxiety associated with that. As part of a fantastic wellbeing program, reducing turnover of staff because they don't get on with the boss. They get frustrated at work because of a problem at home that's distracting them and not allowing them to perform effectively. Coaching. Well, we can really sharpen up skills through coaching enhanced with havening. So all that fantastic coaching expertise you may already have, bolt on the turbo booster of havening and, well, hey, you've got real instant results. And those are permanent. They can create a whole new environment at work. Let's take a step backwards and think about studies that Deloitte and various other organizations have done, indicating that you get back about 5 times the amount of your investment in mental health and well-being. This is a really practical way of making sure you really do. So think about havening just as a thing for business, but there's so much more to it. I'll hand over to Susanna, and she's going to talk to you more about how therapists and other professionals in mental health can really benefit from havening. Over to you, Susanna.
So thank you, Mark. So on my havening trainings, I get psychotherapists, psychologists, medical staff. I get coaches as well, so health and wellness coaches, life coaches, and so on. But let's backtrack a little bit and let's look at what havening actually is so that you can understand the potential. Havening is what we call a psychosensory technique. The first psychosensory technique that came onto the market some 40 years ago is EMDR. You might be familiar with that, eye movement and reprocessing. With EMDR, I would say that's practically the first pioneering technique in the psychotherapy world that has enabled people to make actual biological changes in the brain, in the way that trauma is encoded in the brain. And when I say trauma, any experience that is difficult or interpreted by the system as crucial for survival, right? And those are encoded in a particular way. And when any individual has a good few of those, and in all honesty, most people will accumulate those in the course of their lives, what happens is that your stress bucket at some point just fills up. It's just full. And that's when certain blocks and certain symptoms start to emerge. So you can see things like a decrease in confidence, in self-esteem. You can see negative thinking creeping into the picture, or you can even see on the upper end, anxiety, panic attacks, conditions like that developing that have a serious impact on the quality of life. And with havening, which is a further development of EMDR and tapping, we now have a supercharged tool that can change these encodings literally in the space of minutes. It's not only super effective and super fast, but it's also very, very safe, very gentle on the client, in my experience in client work, where I use it daily. And the changes, as Mark has already mentioned, those changes are permanent. So when you make a change, that change is going to be with you for the rest of your life. We work with particular brainwaves, and these brainwaves, the delta and theta brainwave, they create an environment that is very favorable to positive changes in the brain. And that's the reason that people feel very, very comfortable when we use havening. So you can imagine that when you work in a clinical setting or even in health or wellness coaching, that you will have clients who experience these kinds of blocks. So they may come to you with an issue around excess weight. And even there, you will find that there are emotional blocks that actually drive the weight issue and that prevent them from losing weight. With havening, we can make those changes and your clients will be on the road to wellness. So you can imagine also that when you're working with notoriously difficult to treat conditions like anxiety and panic attacks, that having havening in your toolkit will make an absolutely massive difference. So you can really break through these types of things that otherwise can keep people in a therapy or coaching setting for many, many years without getting satisfactory resolution. So my experience is largely in the trauma field. And there in particular, I would have witnessed this phenomenon in my 30 years in the therapy world, that people, unless we are able to offer them something extra that can dismantle these things in the brain, that people can become really, really stuck in those issues and their quality of life just doesn't change for the better. So this is my encouragement to all coaches, be it life coaches, be it health coaches, be it executive coaches, all therapists of any persuasion, healers, and so on. Come to our training, get havening for your toolkit. It will completely change your practice. It will upgrade it in such a way that you will get raving reviews from clients and can move your practice to the next level. Thank you very much for listening.